How you guys doing? This is Bruce McGee, and we're on In the Pit of My Stomach tonight with a very, very special show for the ladies. It is ladies' night here on In the Pit of My Stomach, and I want to thank you guys for being here on YouTube and on Facebook Live. I'm going to be here every Thursday night at 6 o'clock, sometimes 7, depending on who I have. But I have a very, very easy show tonight because when you have guests on, it just makes it a whole lot easier. And I want to welcome all my guests tonight. And this is Amy Morton and Nicole Odermatt. Say hi, girls.
Hi. Hello.
And they are the powerhouse women of at least the team that I'm on. And we are all on the Plexus team. And I'm just really excited to have these girls here today. We had some graphics all lined up, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get those on there. But we're going to try to do it the best we can with what's going on. I'm really excited because, what is it? I guess about 2 months ago, maybe a little bit more than 2 months ago, I got started on Plexus by Nicole's husband, John Odermatt. And it's been a blessing to me because I have just I've tackled a whole bunch of health problems in the last 2 months. I'm not quite there yet, but everything's looking better and better and better every day. And I'm just excited about it. And then there is all kinds of women in my life that just have all kinds of different problems. I mean, when I first got introduced to Plexus, I was given a list of things that go on between your stomach and your brain and your body as a whole, and the gut flora and all the good stuff that goes on with probiotics, prebiotics, and cleansing yourself out and all that so many things can be at least relieved with these products. Mm-hmm. And I'm amazed because I was not a believer before. And, I tossed the probiotic thing around for years and years and years, curbed my diet and stuff like that, but nothing seemed to work for me with my problem. But if you've been tuning into this podcast, you know my problem. So, but, and I'm not going to share that anymore, but these women are like the powerhouses of my team. I rely on them for all the information that I get, along with John. He's a wealth of information too. And they just have, if you got questions or anything, we have the chat box open. So there are comments that you can make. We'll try to get to some questions later on. But I want to introduce Nicole Odermatt and I want to introduce Amy Morton. And they're going to tell you about all kinds of things as far as the ladies are concerned with this. And I'm just happy to have you guys. How you guys doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us on. I'm really excited. And I know my husband, John, has been on your podcast already. So for those of you that have seen John Odermatt, he's my husband. He's Amy's brother. And, so Amy and I have known each other for, I guess it's now 11 years. And I'm going to go ahead and let her kind of get started and introduce herself and her story. And then I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about how Amy and I have sort of come together and we've come together as a family, but also been able to work together, all because of some gut health supplements that we've both started. So Amy, my wonderful sister.
Well, thank you. So I see the graphic up there. Can everyone see that?
Yeah, I can see it too.
Okay. So
awesome.
I figured I would just start by sharing my story and how I found Plexus and got started with Plexus. So I struggled with irritable bowel syndrome as long as I can remember, which is middle school. I don't remember much before middle school, which is kind of sad. But anyways, I do remember struggling in middle school with my IBS. And it just kind of got worse throughout high school, throughout college. I constantly struggled to maintain my weight. 2 of my cousins actually have been diagnosed with colitis. So I saw 2 different doctors over the years because my parents were sure I must have colitis also. But both doctors tested me for everything under the sun: colitis, Crohn's, celiacs. What else? Well, those are the three big ones, right? But both doctors ended up saying, you just have really bad IBS. Here's some medicine for that. And I tried several different medications that did nothing for me. I tried several probiotics. I tried 2 different diets. Well, actually 3, I guess. Gluten-free, dairy-free, gluten and dairy-free together. They helped a little bit, but I still had my episodes. So, when I say episodes, they were, it was just a very embarrassing lifestyle. I don't want to get into TMI, but I was always thankful that I worked from home. I'm a personal trainer, and I train my clients in my basement. Forgot to mention that. So it was nice that I worked from home so I could be close to my own bathroom. If I did ever have to leave the house after eating, sometimes that went poorly. I was that person on the side of the road. Like, again, I won't get into too much information, but I had a serious problem with my stomach. If I went out to eat with my husband or with anyone, we would have to sit for an hour after I finished eating so I could use the bathroom a couple times before we drove home. So anyways, this majorly affected my life, and my husband was pretty sick of it. So anyways, my friend across the street kept telling me to try ProBio, Plexus ProBio. And I kept saying no. And I said no very well for almost 2 years, because first of all, it was network marketing. I did not believe in network marketing. I didn't believe it was a real product. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that, but that was the truth. I'm like, why would that help me? I've tried, really expensive probiotics that have done nothing. Why is your network marketing probiotic going to do anything? She'd be like, Amy, just try it. It works. It's different. I would say, no, thank you. No, thank you. Anyways, long story short, she finally gave me a bottle. And I took it inside, showed it to my husband, Mike. I was like, this is that Plexus stuff. I also thought she'd gone crazy. So I love Sarah. She's one of my best friends, but she was so into Plexus, how much it helped her with her anxiety, her eczema. And I was like, what the heck? How would a probiotic help with that? Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're making this stuff up. I just didn't get it. So I showed my husband the bottle. I'm like, should I take it? It's that Plexus stuff. You think it's safe? And he was like, yes, you should take it because it was free. And you have paid a lot of money for other probiotics. So I really only took it because it was free. But when I do something, I go all in, 110%. I took it every night for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, I could not remember my last bad day. I couldn't remember my last episode. I was starting to actually be regular for the first time ever. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Okay, I need to continue this. So I said to my husband, do you think I should continue? I think I should. He said, you should, 110%. He's like, and get me some of those pills. He said, you have way more energy and you're way less gassy. Sorry, but I'm just being honest here. We've been married for a long time, almost 20 years. So, I mean, we know each other well. He knew I had a problem with that. So, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am. Like, I was always so bloated all the time and very uncomfortable. I wasn't feeling that way anymore. So, because I was so skeptical, I wanted to research all the ingredients in ProBio. And Sarah, my neighbor, was telling me to try the BioCleanse and the Slim. And I was like, well, I got to read about all these ingredients. So I researched the heck out of every ingredient, everything checked out. I watched about 50 different testimonies. Everybody raved about this stuff. My husband wanted to check out the company. Everything checked out. It looked good. And so then I went all in, started on the triplex. And it was about 4 to 6 months later, I realized, holy cow, I don't have IBS anymore. I don't struggle at all. It was about 6 months after that, I have an autoimmune disease, Raynaud's disease, where I lose circulation in my fingers and toes very easily. My mom does too. My grandma did. My pediatrician told me when I was small, you're going to have to live in the South because you have such bad Raynaud's. Here I am in the South. But yeah. So anyways, I was running and it was 26 degrees in Georgia. It does happen. and I had no gloves on and I was fine. I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So then I Googled gut health and Raynaud's disease, and I read that they're intertwined because Raynaud's is autoimmune. And I realized then, holy cow, I'm on really good stuff here. And I forget where I was going with that. But anyways, I was going to say, I don't remember the last time. I always called it losing a finger when it would go numb. Oh, I lost a finger. Let me shake it and get circulation. I can't remember the last time that's happened. I mean, it used to happen to me when I went to the grocery store because it's so cold in grocery stores. It doesn't happen. So anyways, and then I started sharing Plexus from the very beginning because I felt so much better with my stomach situation. I wanted everybody I loved on Plexus and started sharing. So I did get my product costs covered. My products costs were covered my first month. When people found out that Amy Morton didn't have IMS anymore, they were like, I need that. So these products work. So they're very easy to share. And when people take them, they feel better too. So it's just wonderful. So my business has blossomed because of these awesome products. So obviously I shared them with Nicole because I love Nicole and I love John and I wanted them to feel better. And so Nicole can jump in now and share how she got started.
That is so fantastic, your testimony there. It kind of goes like mine too. I mean, I suffered for a long time with the things that I did and was in denial and all this stuff. But I actually just kind of jumped in head first with it. So, but it was a great situation. Hey, if you guys are out there and you're listening on Facebook Live, thank you for doing that. Give us a thumbs up or a heart. If you're up there on YouTube, press the share button, the like button, and subscribe. So that's how we get more listeners and up in the charts, and we just appreciate all that stuff. If you want to join the Facebook page, you just type "In the Pit of My Stomach" in the little search tab up there on the top of your Facebook page. It'll take you right to the page, and you can join in, and you can benefit from all the information that these ladies right here will give you, and a bunch of other people that are involved in the page itself. And we're just going to run on right over to Nicole because she's got a lot of information too, and she has her own testimony. So Nicole, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So yeah, of course, I found out about these probiotic supplements from Amy. And when she started sharing about the supplements, I was kind of in, I guess, I want to call it a bad place, like a good place, but a bad place. I just had my daughter, who is now 5. So, I always wanted to be a mom my whole life. But after I became a mom, I didn't expect to feel the way I felt, if that makes sense. You kind of picture it as all like rainbows and butterflies, and a little thing called postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety hit me pretty hard. And it's nothing I ever expected to deal with at all. So I kind of try to like deny what it was, or like not label it, if that makes sense. My doctor had prescribed me some medications for it, which I had the script and never filled it. I just was trying to avoid that as long as I could. And luckily, I came across, something that could help me in a more natural way. And I was taking some other vitamins at the time, but, it was nothing that was like improving my mental health, of course, or anything like that. And, really, when Amy brought up the supplements and I had heard what it had done for her stomach issues, that was another thing that I was dealing with. Was I always had stomach issues as well. It's never really regular TMI, but like stomach pains, things like that, bloating, all that kind of stuff. So that was one hope that I had that these products could do for me. And then also the fact that there's some weight management products that I thought, well, I'll just take these. I'll see what happens. I'll probably just get my refund on them. But, if it works, fingers crossed, maybe I'll lose a few pounds or be more comfortable in my clothes, but I wasn't really banking on that to happen. But what I found was once I started taking the gut health system that Amy had recommended for me, which is a probiotic, a magnesium, and a prebiotic. And what I found was I started to naturally have my energy levels lifted a little bit. And my daily headaches started going away and my stomach issues started to subside and I just started to feel better. Like there's just this new feeling that I was just like, wow, like this is awesome. And before I got started with all this stuff, going back to the postpartum depression and things like that, my daughter was a year old at the time when I started hearing about these products, and I was still dealing with postpartum depression. And that's kind of a long time, like to deal with all that. My mental health was not in a great place. And I had always had maybe a little bit of tendencies for depression and anxiety before, but nothing major until postpartum. And I can clearly recall a moment in time, like being in her nursery, rocking my daughter to sleep and just crying for no reason and not being able to explain it, like just inexplicable tears and emotions that I couldn't control. And I remember kind of just praying to God saying, I want something to change. I'm just praying for a change. I don't know what that is. I need something to change. Just crying with tears streaming down my face. And little did I know until, kind of looking back now, my answer for change was what Amy brought to my life, which was gut health. And so, and it's so crazy because, I honestly had no idea that gut health affected your brain health and all that kind of stuff. I really only had taken probiotics whenever I was on an antibiotic or something like that, which, by the way, was all the time. I used to be sick constantly. So it was a constant vicious cycle of me getting sick, being on antibiotics. Obviously that depletes your probiotics in your gut, trying to regain those probiotics back in your gut after being on antibiotics takes a long time. And it was just this cycle. Then I would get sick again. It was always something with me. And it was usually a surprise to my family if I was ever not sick, at a holiday or any time in the winter, I was just constantly sick. So that is another thing that has hugely or majorly improved for me is my immune system. And anyways, so I know I kind of got off track here, but after improving my gut health over a period of time, consistently taking these probiotics and whatnot, I had found my mental health had started to improve. I was not having the episodes anymore of anxiety, or they had just at least been lowered, or just having the episodes less often dealing with anxiety. And then I really just never, my postpartum depression kind of just went away. And I never expected that at all. So that is one reason why I continue to take these supplements, because if I don't take them, then I'm not my best self. And if I'm not my best self, I'm not the best mom, and I'm not the best wife. And the funny thing is, the probiotics I take, my husband won't let me run out of them because happy wife, happy life, right? And when I run out of them, then we come into some mood issues and things like that again. So that's why I continue to take my happy pills. And I know Harvard notes the gut as our second brain. So if you haven't heard of this before, just Google it. You'll see, if you Google gut health and mental health or gut brain axis, you'll find lots of information. If you go on Google Scholar, you'll find studies and all of this kind of stuff with the effects of your gut microbiome and your mental health. And your gut affects a lot of functions in your body, most functions in your body. So if you're dealing with anything, Google that issue, that health concern, and gut health, and see what comes up. See if that's connected, and see if probiotic therapy can help you with that. The gut is connected to the brain. There's the vagus nerve that connects from the gut to the brain. Your gut sends signals, sends neurotransmitters back and forth to the brain. They communicate with each other. So the other thing is serotonin. Serotonin is the feel-good hormone, in your body that is going to, stabilize your mood. It's like the feel-good hormone for happiness and stress reduction. And I think 80 or 90% of your serotonin is actually produced in your gut. So when you're able to improve your gut with good beneficial bacteria, like the probiotics, then the serotonin is increased, and in return, obviously, your mental health is improved. So, the other thing that, serotonin helps with is even sleeping, eating, digestion. There's all kinds of things and ways to boost your serotonin. Like I said, is probiotics, but also 5-HTP. And 5-HTP is something that is produced in the body. And we use that in some of our supplements that I take, have 5-HTP, plant-based form of it that helps. And that 5-HTP is actually a precursor to serotonin. So it's going to increase that in your body. And I'm not, I don't claim to be an expert on any of these things at all, but just being able to share what I've learned in the process and being able to share my experiences is what I love to do, because if I can help somebody else feel as good as I felt and improve their life as much as I have since I've taken these products over the last 3 years, that is, why I continue to share. And, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I know Amy's going to touch, a little bit more on some things with like hormones and things like that. But, and I know I did mention weight loss, because I kind of like had an idea of taking some of the weight management products and seeing what that would do for me. But, I did. I lost about 10 to 15 pounds. But that wasn't what was most important to me. It was all of the other things that came before that, all of the little things along the way. Like I said, my stomach issues, improving my immune system. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care how much I weigh. If my immune system is on par and I'm not getting sick. I've gotten sick like once in the past year rather than the normal 10 times a year. And when my mental health is at its best, like those are the two things probably that are most important to me. As well as my energy. Like a major thing that I didn't even mention is just how tired I was. And that was another thing that really caught my attention when I heard somebody else's story of her not living for the coffee pot all day. And I was like, oh, that's what I do. I had no idea this stuff could help with that. So let me try some of that. Cause I was a sugar addict, energy drink addict. I drank Red Bulls a couple times a day.
I can attest for all of this.
Yeah, she's seen all of this stuff.
I knew Nicole pre-Plexus. So,
I was a mess. And and one of my main things was like I used to eat ice cream twice a day, every single day. I had to have it after lunch and after dinner. Hey, I might have had it 3 times a day, but like that was every single day. And that doesn't include all of the sugary candy I was eating all day long. And it was just a mess, and the sweet tea. And I just don't even care for that stuff anymore. I mean, I still like my ice cream, but I only eat it like a couple times a week now. But but it's awesome. And it's just been amazing. And another thing, and maybe Amy can explain this more, but and I know this is kind of TMI, women's issue, but I know there's a lot of women that deal with really painful cycles. And that time of the month when it's you have a super painful period, that they were miserable for me. And now I don't have pain barely at all, like maybe some light, just a little bit of pain. And I know that's a lot of TMI for the guys that might be listening, but you know what? I mean, it's a real thing. And and even if there's guys listening, I'm sure your wives could relate to this. And that is something that has changed literally probably a month after I started taking this. I had noticed it wasn't painful anymore. I thought that was just an odd, just randomly that happened, but then it continued. I never had the painful cycles again.
You used to be like down and out for like 2 days. And I remember we would always be so sad because it was like every time we visited Pittsburgh or I saw Nicole at the beach, it just happened to be that time of the month. And she was like out of commission.
It was bad.
And she would be like, Amy, I just wish one of these times when we're together, I won't have this. And I'm like, yeah, man, you really have a hard time with it. But then it's gone now. Like it doesn't happen to her anymore. She just sails right through, which is amazing.
Again. So that's so cool. Yeah. Hey, I want to kind of accentuate on the fact that Nicole says is that, the way this perpetuates around the nation, around the world, is the people sharing stories just like you guys. And I've heard so many stories of things that are posted every day because I'm getting notifications all the time about this story or that story. They're amazing stories. I mean, you sit back and you go like, oh my gosh, I've got a couple of my ambassadors tonight in here and a prospect, and they're listening to you guys like they've never heard this before. I'm glad that the couple of them are there, Mary and Donna are in here, and I want to welcome you guys here. Number one, to the In the Pit of My Stomach podcast, but more than that, I want to introduce you guys and just know that you guys have a wealth of information at your fingertips. And if there's an issue that you have, all you have to do is type that into the search box, into one of the groups that I invited you to. And more than likely, you're going to come up with a testimony or some information on those things that can help you. And, when I first got into Plexus, I really thought that, I'm going to be a snake oil salesman, because there was so much of this big list of things that could be relieved. But after hearing all of these testimonies and stuff, it's just amazing on the conditions that can be taken care of just because your gut's out of balance. It's just amazing. I mean, I'm so intrigued by your guys' testimonies, and Amy's got some more stuff to share, and I want her to go forward with it. So I'm just going to bow out here and let Amy go.
Okay, sounds good. And I'm going to kind of go out of order here because I kind of want to build on what you just said, how things can really get a lot better for people once they get their gut back in balance. I did mention earlier, I tried several probiotics that did nothing. So that, is confusing, right? And you probably have friends that take probiotics. So the reason the Plexus probiotic works so well is it is very different. It has an antifungal in it and digestive enzymes. And that's what makes it so different. It's also in this special capsule that doesn't dissolve until it hits the pH of your gut. So it's not even going to open up its goodness till it's in your gut. Whereas, like the liquid probiotics that I took that were in the refrigerator, the super fancy ones, as soon as I take them out of the refrigerator, they start kind of losing their effectiveness. Then when it hits my 98.6 degree mouth, I lose a lot there too, right? So most of that doesn't even make it to my stomach. So that's the problem with the refrigerated ones. But anyway, so the Plexus one gets all the way to your gut and then opens up. And so I'll go back a notch to what I think Nicole mentioned, the yeast in our gut. Maybe nobody mentioned the yeast. We're all born with yeast. God gives us yeast in our gut. And that is what decomposes your body after you die. Kind of morbid, but totally true. That's why we need the yeast. However, the yeast gets out of control for pretty much all of us because of the foods we eat, the drinks we drink, pretty much the air we breathe. It's our lifestyle. Stress,
And
all kinds
it's a constant. It's a constant factor too. Like your gut is going to be constantly evolving. So, even if you take care of the yeast once, you're going to have to continue to combat that yeast overgrowth that's going on in your gut. I know you're going to continue on with that, but just wanted to touch on that because some people ask me, like, can I just, I love the antifungal and all that's in the probiotic. Can I just take this for a couple months and then be done with it and I'm cleansed? And I'm like, well, not really. It's just like anything else. I mean, you can't just, and I'm trying to think, like, even like hydration, for example, you can't just drink your water, and get it all in and then be done with it. Like, it's your body's constantly changing, but yeah.
Totally. Thank you, Nicole. Yeah. So the yeast overgrowth that we all have causes all these problems for us. I never knew I had one, but I did, a pretty big one. Once I got through die-off, I didn't struggle anymore with my irritable bowel syndrome once I got all that yeast out. But so the antifungal in the probiotic.
Insert again. Sorry. Just when you say die off, people probably don't know what that means, but it just,
that's true.
Yeah.
I'll explain that in just a second, but thank you, Nicole.
Okay,
the antifungal that's in our probiotic, it breaks through the cell wall. Oh, pardon me. The digestive enzymes in the probiotic, they break through the cell wall of the yeast, and then the antifungal kills it. So that yeast is killed. And BioCleanse, which is our magnesium supplement, helps all that yucky stuff out. So the probio puts all the good stuff in there, kills the yeast, repopulates with the good bacteria. The BioCleanse helps the yucky stuff out. And it's just amazing how those two products work together.
I call it the mover.
Yeah.
That's a good way to
describe it. Totally. While that's happening, you're in a phase, a lot of people, we call the phase the Candida yeast die-off phase. And you can feel kind of lousy during that phase when the yeast is coming out. Personally, when I have a friend that's going through the Candida yeast die-off phase, I celebrate. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. That yeast is leaving your body. That headache you're having is a great sign these products are at work. Digging away at that yeast, chipping away at it. I mean, that yeast gets stuck to the walls of your gut. Your gut is like 5 feet long, so it takes a while, so that's why I'm always like, let's give these products 60 days at least. And so a lot of cleaning that has to go on. That probio has to work really hard. So the yeast die-off phase, people always say, how long is it going to last? I'm like, it's really different for everybody, but I'll help you through it. I'm here to help you through it. And once you get through it, you feel amazing. So I did want to just touch on that. The yeast can cause all kinds of issues, like the inability to lose weight, or make it really hard to lose weight. So I did mention earlier, I'm a personal trainer. I will have women that will just be doing everything right, doing all their personal training homework, eating really clean, even eliminating their wine, doing everything right. They can't lose weight for a long time, working out, running, can't lose weight. We add in the probio, the BioCleanse, and the Slim, our triplex combo. It balances the blood sugar and heals the gut. We add that in and the weight starts coming off. It's because they get that yeast out of there and their body doesn't hold on to the weight. So I wanted to touch on that a little bit tonight. How because I never did understand before I started on the products, how gut health would affect weight, but they are completely intertwined. When you have a healthy gut, weight loss is so much easier. I guess I'll continue on to speak about, especially, I did want to mention, because I am speaking to women tonight, menopausal women, in menopause, premenopause, postmenopause, it becomes extremely hard to lose weight. The body just kind of wants to gain weight, especially around the midsection. When you can get that yeast out of your gut, it's a heck of a lot easier. Also, the Slim balances the blood sugar, which is huge for women in menopause, which is huge for everyone, but it's huge for men.
The Slim is the pink drink, for anyone that doesn't know what that is. It has the prebiotics in it. So
Yeah, the Slim is the pink drink. And
Can I interrupt just for a minute, Amy? I want to ask something about the Slim because everybody asks me this question. Not only does it do the balancing of the glucose, but what actually is a prebiotic? Because I know that they are prebiotics. I mean, we have the hunger control and we have the microbiome activating, right? The microbiome activating. Both of them are similar, but both of them do the same thing. They are prebiotics. Can you tell us what a prebiotic is?
Sure.
You got it?
You can take it. You can answer, Nicole.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, there's really several different forms of prebiotics, but like, for example, in the Hunger Control Slim, the Hunger Control pink drink, that has a prebiotic fiber, like a digestive fiber. And the microbiome activating pink drink Slim, that one has a prebiotic that's actually going to feed the good bacteria in your gut. And what that's going to, it's basically like a fertilizer for your gut. So if like you think of your gut like a garden and you have, flowers growing in your garden, those are the probiotics. And you have that antifungal in the probiotic as well that we have. If you have some weeds growing in your garden or something like that, you're not just going to plant more flowers. I mean, yeah, you're going to plant more flowers, but that's not going to really get rid of those weeds, right? So the digestive enzymes and the antifungal that Amy talked about in the probiotic that we have combats the weeds going on in our gut, right? It's going to go in and get rid of and remove it, not just try to crowd it out with more good bacteria, but also to help keep those flowers and that good bacteria thriving. You need prebiotics like a fertilizer, right? So it basically just helps the probiotics thrive and multiply. Right. So hopefully
that was the answer. That's the answer I was trying to get at.
Yeah, which is what I love about it. And I do both of those pink drinks. I like to do these days I've been doing 2 a day, and I do the microbiome one in the morning and the hunger control one in the afternoon, just to help with my afternoon cravings. So anyways, but I know, and you know what, one other thing too, before Amy continues, because in case you mentioned this, because I know you're talking about menopausal women and things like that, but also, I know a lot of friends that have had really great pregnancies and even better with breastfeeding. So some of my friends have had basically 2 babies, 1 baby before they were able to try Plexus, and their second baby they call like their Plexus baby. And so many of them rave about their second pregnancies or their Plexus pregnancy being so much better, and that their milk supply is increased so much more. Just for a better overall pregnancy. But I think blood sugar and insulin has a little bit to do with that, as well as gut health. And I've even read some things about the correlation between miscarriages and insulin resistance that can possibly, if your hormones are balanced, if your your insulin's in check, your blood sugar's in check, that can help prevent things like that. It helps the endocrine system. It's great for healthy pregnancy. So I just wanted to touch on that too before Amy goes and explains more about the insulin and blood sugar.
Well, thank you for that. Okay. Thank you for that explanation, because I have a lot of people that ask that question.
Gotcha. I was going to say, I wish I had this stuff when I was pregnant or when I was nursing, because I mean, it would have been a game changer for me. Let me tell you, I found it too late, but that's okay.
Me too.
Go ahead, Amy.
So to build off of what Nicole just said, so the number one way to balance your hormones is to balance your blood sugar level. I love to just let that sink in. The number one way to balance your hormones is to balance your blood sugar levels. Like, hello, that's amazing for women and men. So that's why for pregnant women, for example, if they get their blood sugar balanced with Slim, their hormones are going to be balanced. So they're going to have an easier pregnancy. They're going to feel better. So, and that happens because the balanced blood sugar level helps the endocrine system balance out the insulin. And the insulin is our master hormone for men and women. Insulin's the master hormone. So when insulin is working just right, all the other hormones are working just right. So that is also why Nicole doesn't have cramps anymore. I didn't mention it earlier, but I don't either. So
there we go.
But I I mean, I had such bad pains, I would grab onto stuff and be like, oh, gotta breathe through this. Like I had major bad cramps. So anyways, I'm thankful I don't have that anymore. So I love sleep for that reason. But so let's see. I did also want to mention about pregnancy and gut health a little bit. So it's important for the baby as the baby is actually being born. When the baby passes through the birth canal, if the mom has a yeast overgrowth, I know this sounds so gross, but the baby's going to pick it up on its way out, and that's going to be part of the baby's microbiome. It happens. Google it. So if I could going back for my 4 kids I've had, I wish I had had a healthy gut. I mean, all of my kids came out with reflux, and they got that from me. They got that reflux. I looked that up because I had read something about that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is why my kids had such bad reflux. So I am going to refer down to my notes to explain it. But so it's why, babies, it kind of ties back to me having heartburn also during my pregnancies. The heartburn didn't mean that I had too much acid in my stomach. It meant that my gut had so much candida yeast in it, it weakened my esophageal sphincter, which is the flap or valve that is supposed to keep the acids in your stomach. It was weakened by the yeast, so it would splash up. So
I've never heard that before. That's really interesting.
Acid reflux disease.
Wow.
Yeah, so I struggled while I was pregnant majorly. I also had really bad irritable bowel syndrome while I was pregnant. Like, gosh, if I could have just had this stuff back then, but I didn't know about it. But when you see the babies that are born with reflux and the doctors just try to give them medicine, that doesn't really get to the root of the problem for the babies. Didn't do anything for my kids. So we have a friend on the team whose baby did come out with reflux, and she started to give her baby Probio in her bottles at 2 months old. The doctor wanted the baby to have medicine, and Allie is her name. She started to give her Probio, and it went away. So the baby just needed a healthy gut. So I highly recommend, if you're a woman out there thinking about getting pregnant or you're pregnant, get on the triplex. You can feed your microbiome and your baby's microbiome. You'll both end up being healthier, and you won't have as much trouble afterwards either. So
that's fantastic.
Did you want me to go into insulin now, Nicole?
You can go into insulin, yeah. You have the show right now.
Okay.
Have the floor.
So I wanted to just speak a little bit about insulin and weight gain and weight loss, especially being a trainer. So insulin resistance is very common these days for people, unfortunately. So insulin resistance is your body's natural defense to the onslaught of the sugar you're pumping into it. So unfortunately, a lot of us, I was addicted to sugar too. I always had to have a little something sweet after every meal. That's what I'd always say. I just need a bite of something sweet. Well, that was my yeast was craving the sugar. So then I feed it the sugar, and then the yeast would grow some more and crave more sugar. But anyways, that's another story. But so the insulin resistance, some symptoms of that are slow metabolism, feeling tired after you eat, wanting to take that afternoon nap. That's a sign you're having some insulin resistance. So in insulin, it's the master hormone, but it's also the fat storage hormone. And so when you increase your sugar, you increase your insulin, you increase your fat storage, which we do not want to increase our fat storage. So how do we stop this insulin resistance? Slim, which I've mentioned earlier. We've all just talked about the Slim is going to balance the blood sugar, get the insulin in check, and everything functions properly. My friend across the street, Sarah, she just refers to it as the magic of Slim. Like and that's why one reason Plexus works so well is because we have Slim. It's so unique. There is no other product out there like Plexus Slim. And I'm so thankful that it's ours. It's just amazing.
I'm telling you, I used to, my boss has a chocolate bowl on the end of his desk, and I was hitting that chocolate bowl at least 7 to 8 times a day. I would just get up just to go to his desk and go get a Reese's or whatever. He just spoils us with the chocolate. And it was just one of the things that I kept doing and doing and doing. And now I don't have that craving. So now when I go get a piece of chocolate or something, it's like, it's a reward, and I don't need it. I don't need it to get through the day, and I'm not having those sugar crashes and things like that. It's just the Slim was an amazing product because it actually worked for me very, very fast. And it was, the first thing that John had, actually, I dove right in. I didn't even get the samples, but when I did the Slim, I had done the Slim for 5 days before I even started the cleanse or the ProBio. And my wife even went like, where's all this energy coming from? Where's the, what's happening here? What's happening there? And I'm going like, I don't know. I mean, my portions of my food went down, and other than that, I mean, it was just amazing. So Slim is the thing. It's the pink drink, and that's the one that I go like, you got to drink the pink drink every day.
Yeah, and that is important every day to drink it. It doesn't work if you don't drink it every day, because it works to slowly balance your blood sugar and keep it balanced. So some people, they think of it as like a weight loss drink that they're just going to drink when they're eating bad. I'm just going to drink it on Saturday and Sunday, but I'll eat good on Monday, so I won't drink it Monday. And then it doesn't work. I'm like, well, that's why it didn't work. You didn't drink it every day. So, but I mean, it's pretty magical when you drink Slim.
And I think that's how I imagined it when I first went into it, like that's what it was supposed to be like. But yeah, like I don't even really drink it for the purposes of weight management at all. My main goal really with drinking Slim, I mean, is for the health benefits of it and the gut health benefits and all of that. And like a little bit for the craving control as well. But really, I mostly take it just as a daily health drink for myself. So.
Yeah, I like to think of it as a wellness drink.
Yeah. So my friend Donna just chimed in. She says she's a diabetic here, and she has so much work to maintain, avoid getting back on her meds. And it sounds like that the Slim would help. And I've been working with her actually for about the past month and a half, trying to, share things with her and things like that. So I remember John telling me, and maybe you guys know the story better than me, about how Slim came about and what the reason why Slim is even in the Plexus plan. Any of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's so a doctor, an endocrinologist, I think from Ohio State, created the product to help diabetics with their blood sugar. And what they found when they were testing it was that these people, these diabetics that were using it, not only did it help their blood sugar levels, but it also, they found that the ones that needed to lose weight were also losing weight. So that's why the product started to be marketed as Slim. So it still, helps your blood sugars, but it also can help you lose weight. Now, if you're listening to this and you're saying, I don't want to lose weight, I have no weight to lose, you can still take the product. Like Amy is a prime example. And I didn't really have that much weight to lose, but I had some, but for Amy, I mean, she didn't need to lose weight, but it has helped her tremendously, and she continues to take it, and it has not made her lose any extra weight. It's actually kept her healthier.
Gained weight.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't want to freak you guys out, but I was extremely thin. I needed to gain weight, but I couldn't.
It's like a balancer.
As soon as food hit my stomach, it went straight straight through me. Now my body maintains the food and gets good stuff from it. Thanks to Plexus. So yeah, it's like a balancer. It kind of gets your body to where your body should be. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, let's build on that with the product line. So, you know, we talked about the triplex a little bit and how the triplex plan goes and helps you out with starting out, getting your gut health back in check. And there's some other people here that I've seen that are here for the weight loss. So my wife has actually started, Tracy, she's watching us too, that she's using MetaBurn. And we are, I had just gotten my my chocolate lean, yay. and then I'm thinking about either getting Balance or Block. I haven't made my mind up which one I want to get there. But there are other products that you can use within the triplex product that will actually help you and assist you with your weight loss. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that. Do you guys have any testimonies on the MetaBurn or the Block, the Balance, or the Lean?
Yeah, well, I use Lean every single day as my lunch. I'll just touch on that because I know Amy is really such an expert on the weight loss in the weight loss department, just because, like I said, she doesn't need to lose weight, but she's a personal trainer. So she has lots of clients that not only train with her, but also use the Plexus products that have had so much success. So I'll let her speak on more of those products. I do love some of those products, but my favorite probably is Lean, the meal shake replacement. And I was never really a shake person, although I would do protein sometimes after hard workouts because I thought, well, that's just what you have to do, even though I would choke them down because I never liked them before. They always had like a weird taste. They were either slimy or they had like a chalky taste, and I just drank it. So I'm like, all right, I'm supposed to take protein after a workout, so that's what I'm going to do. And a lot of times they had a ton of sugar in them. Like I never used to really read my labels that well. Not really until I think like somewhat during pregnancy, I started checking my labels more, but it wasn't really until probably 3 years ago or so, which I really started to pay more attention to what I'm putting in my body. And that's really important to me. And when you start looking at labels, you see these crazy ingredients, and one of the first ingredients is usually sugar or high fructose corn syrup, or, you know, sucralose or aspartame, something that's like either a fake chemically produced sweetener or whatever. But when that's your first ingredient, that's not good, you know. And having, you know, like a natural sugar, like coconut sugar, which is what's in the Lean, or a plant-based stevia, you know, those are really great options to have as an ingredient, a sweetener in your shake or whatever it is that you're eating. But I will say my lunch used to consist usually of Kraft mac and cheese, and I would down an entire box. That would be, in one sitting, I would eat a whole box of mac and cheese, or I would eat kids' pizza Lunchables, and my coworkers can attest to this. They used to like make fun of me at work. I used to work in restaurants for over 15 years. And of course there was a lot of great food in the restaurants. So I'd be, you know, but it depended on the day. Sometimes I didn't want to eat the food at the restaurant, which I would also indulge highly in that kind of stuff too. But like I would bring to work pizza Lunchables, and they would make fun of me. And it's just so like the processed food that I would eat before. And going to Wendy's I was there several times a week, and I would get the large fry and the Frosty and all that stuff. And not to say I don't stop there every once in a while or whatever on a whim, but now I'm more prone to actually replace that and have my lunch as my Lean shake. I'm excited to have my Lean shake. They're so good. I've never tasted protein this smooth or, you know, delicious, like without having all the extra sweeteners in it. And I'm not even usually a vanilla fan, but the vanilla kind of tastes like and smells like vanilla cake. And I even like the vanilla one. So that has really helped me a lot to stay away from the, you know, the pizza, the processed foods and all that stuff, or pasta at lunchtime. So I just wanted to mention that. I love those. And they're great for moms on the go, you know, busy moms. I have a lot of clients that love the Lean shakes as like a drink on the go when they're headed out to kids' activities, picking up the kids from school and all that stuff.
So we love the Lean in our house too. We have 6 people that live here, and we probably have, on average, we go through probably 4 shakes a day. I was going to say 5, but I mean, we're talking days here, but I mean, at least 4 of us make a shake. It rotates. I mean, my little kids love the lean. We even make popsicles out of it.
Pancakes.
My daughter, pancakes. Yeah. My daughter, who's a very competitive swimmer, she has a lean shake right after she gets out of the pool, because I'm a big fan of getting protein to the muscles within 30 minutes. So, anyways, but back to the weight loss question. When I can get clients to take Slim, Metaburn, and Lean, they lose weight. And if they got to be consistent with the Slim, drink it every day. I like it when they first start on it and they're trying to lose weight, I recommend they drink it before lunch. I just think that timing is a good time. It just kind of controls the craving all through the afternoon and the evening when people get the snackies. And then I recommend they replace their lunch with a lean shake. It just saves so many calories, and the lean is so satisfying. And then that Metaburn is also very unique to Plexus. Like I said, the Slim was. That Metaburn is made with 7 different herbs that burn fat, boost energy, and boost mood. You feel so
a little bit of that.
awesome. Like, it helps you focus too. My husband calls it my ADHD med. He's like, "Did you take your ADHD?" I'm like, "I don't have an ADHD med." He calls the Metaburn my ADHD med. He can tell when I haven't taken it. It helps me focus. So I have to say, because I've always been so natural and into natural foods and everything, I was completely freaked out when Plexus came up with Metaburn. I was like, "A fat burner? Are you kidding me? I can't sell this." And then one of the other ladies on our team, who's also very natural, Marion, she was like, "Amy, read about what's in it." And it is amazing. The herbs in there are things that I had already been telling my clients to go take. So it couldn't be more natural and more clean.
John and I went to a health food store and found all of the ingredients that are in the Metaburn. And he took a picture with them, and there's like at least 10 bottles that he's holding that are all of the ingredients that are in Metaburn. So you'd spend a ton of money, probably a couple $100s, to get all of those ingredients. But you can get it in just one,
Correct.
Yeah. The cool thing is it targets the fat around the belly and the hips and the thighs. And I also was so excited about it once I realized how great it was. It was the February after they came out with it with my clients. I was like, okay, I want to have a research study with you guys. Let's have 10 of you guys take just Metaburn. Let's have 10 of you guys take Slim and Metaburn. And I'm going to measure you and take your body fat at the beginning of the month and the end of the month. So I had 20 people, 10 doing just Metaburn, 10 doing Slim and Metaburn. It was amazing. So they all lost inches. They all lost body fat. The people that also drank the Slim did lose more. But it was amazing where they lost it from. They lost it from around the middle and their thighs and their hips. So like, this stuff is legit. Plexus is awesome. So
it is awesome. It is awesome. And ladies, we're running up against time, but I just wanted to say, I thank you guys for being here. You guys are a wealth of information. You guys are my upline, so I depend on you for all my information, and you gave everybody a great show tonight. And I just want to thank you guys. If you had one piece of advice for everybody, Amy real quick and Nicole real quick, what would you tell them?
Oh, one piece of advice. Don't wait. Don't be skeptical. Just try it. Gut health is way more important than you realize, and you will just feel better. So I would just jump on in, start with the triplex: gut health, balance blood sugar first. Okay. Go.
Nicole?
Absolutely. And now more than ever is just a better time to take care of your health in general. Not only your physical health and your immune system and your gut, but also your mental health. Like,
Absolutely.
It's a big thing I speak on, but I know after this long period in quarantine and dealing with COVID, and everyone's got different situations, but I have noticed people's mental health has really taken a dive. And if you can take care of yourself even if it's just by taking, I mean, there's many other ways to take care of your mental health and your gut health, of course, with foods and things like that too, and sleep. But, if you could even just take a capsule of something a day, take those probiotics, get something into your gut so you can take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people in your life as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, again, thank you, ladies. Everybody, you can join me in the pit of your stomach. Actually, absolutely. You can grab me at the pit of your stomach on Facebook. Type it into your little search box right there. You can come and you can join the crowd over there. Lots of great information. You can be here every Thursday night, 6 p.m. live on YouTube. Next week, I'm going to have Nicole's husband, John Odermatt, on again, and we're going to talk a little bit of business here. And it's just going to be a great show. I love doing this show. I love having everybody on here. I love everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for being here. And, ladies, until I hear from you again and until you're here on this show again, I want to thank you and I want to say good night. And this is Bruce the Weathered Soul, because that's who I really am. And for best results, squeeze from the bottom up. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Have a blessed week.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.